just sitting here waiting on them. She get free tribal health care, go to school for free out here in places like California. Listen, y'all, the name of the game is getting out of this subject citizen status, right, and going back to your tribal inheritance. Not saying that we can't still use our U.S. citizen status, because we can, but understand there's a Mr. Anderson and there's a Neo. We play the public side when we need that benefit, but we can also play the private side when we want to protect our benefits and assets too as well. So pay attention, because this president is giving you all the gems you need to get out and free yourself. All right. Peace and love, family. Now, y'all need to pay close attention, because if Trump don't do anything, he gonna tell you exactly what's going on in his corporation. As long as y'all pay attention, he tells you everything that you need to know.
Mr. President, a short time ago, the Supreme Court agreed to hear oral arguments in the case about ending birthright citizenship. How confident are you that the court will rule in your favor and allow that order to end birthright citizenship to go forward?
Well, you're just telling me that for the first time. I am so happy. I think the case has been so misunderstood. That case, birthright citizenship, is about slavery. If you look at the details of it, the signings of it, everything else, that case is all about slavery. And if you view it from that standpoint, people understand it. But for some reason, lawyers don't talk about it, the news doesn't talk about it. That's not about tourists coming in and touching a piece of sand and all of a sudden they're a citizenship. They're a citizen. That is all about slavery. And even look at the dates on which it was signed. It was right at that era, right after the Civil War. And if you look at it that way, the case is an easy case to win. And I hope the lawyers talk about birthright citizenship and slavery, because that's what it was all about. And it was a very positive, it was meant to be positive. And they use it now instead, not for slavery, they use it for people that come into our country and they walk in and all of a sudden they become citizens and they pay a lot of money to different cartels and others. It's all about slavery, and if you look at it that way, we should win that case. Okay.
Now, Trump is 100% right when he said birthright citizenship started with the descendants of slaves, and it was only meant for them. But over time, they used that 14th Amendment citizenship to actually pull in many other immigrants as well. Now, it's important to know that the birthright citizenship all happened in around 1868 with the 14th Amendment, and this was around the same time too as the Naturalization Act getting passed in 1870. Okay, so this is 1868, right? And birthright citizenship was established as the 14th Amendment, which guaranteed citizenship to all persons born in the United States, regardless of their parents' citizenship or legal status. Okay, now check this next part. The principle was specifically enacted to overturn the Dred Scott versus Sanford decision, which denied citizenship to enslaved people and their descendants. The 14th Amendment Citizenship Clause ensures that all individuals born within the U.S. territory are citizens, including descendants of slaves. Now, what's important is to understand the depths of this Dred Scott decision, because if you can grasp this, then you'll understand why this whole citizenship was even created in the first place, along with the 14th Amendment. Okay, now it says in the 1857 case of Dred Scott versus Sanford, the Supreme Court ruled that African Americans, whether enslaved or free, were not citizens and had no rights to sue in the federal court. That means you all were not constitutionally protected, not as blacks, not as African Americans, whatever you want to call it, because y'all had no real status in law. Okay, but they said, well, you know what? How about we take this form of slavery even deeper? Because they thought if they actually were able to naturalize the Cherokee, the Choctaw, the Blackfoots into their new corporation as subjects, then that means they could also get their territories and their lands, and we would freely give it up to them as subject slaves. That's exactly what they did. right? And this is why they created this 14th Amendment subject citizenry. And then everybody else who came into the United States, whether you were immigrants or whatever, you were all still considered U.S. citizen subjects. Now, this is important for us to know, especially as so-called blacks and Latinos, because Trump's basically telling you they snatched you from your inheritance. They created a whole citizenship for you, and then they naturalized you into their system. He's telling you this, right? So for us, it's about us seeing the door and the opportunities here, because all we got to do is go back to our tribal inheritance, y'all. That's how we get our 20 acres and a mule. Okay, they got everything in tribal trust just sitting here waiting on us. You get free tribal health care, go to school for free out here in places like California. Listen, y'all, the name of the game is getting out of this subject citizen status, right, and going back to your tribal inheritance. Not saying that we can't still use our U.S. citizen status, because we can, but understand there's a Mr. Anderson and there's a Neo. We play the public side when we need that benefit, but we can also play the private side when we want to protect our benefits and assets too as well. So pay attention, because this president is giving you all the gems you need to get out and free yourself. All right.